Good morning, Sana.
KORSI. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes. Nice to have you.
How are you? And
we are because
I haven't been here in a while.
Yeah. Yes. It's been a while. It's a while since we last saw you. He does a lot of writing on finance issues.
Yes.
And most of them are published.
From time to time, we collaborate.
Yes, I've seen your collaboration, some of the work you've done together. Okay. So it's fantastic to have the two of you in studio. But first, we have to, and I haven't seen the two of you ever write on security. But
no, we are not security experts. Ours is bread and butter issues.
but just brief comments on the issue, that video that's attracting a lot of attention, the military man. Let me start with you.
Sana, is for me, I looked at it from emotional intelligence point of view. Okay. As an officer and officer as such, with the understanding of how you deal with civilians, being a military man, you shouldn't talk like that. And I know Colonel Kujo, Lieutenant Colonel, and he's usually a calm and a good person. Okay. But I don't know what happened, or I don't know the environment he found himself to make such unsavory comments. And I believe the military, as an institution, has to take themselves through emotional intelligence in terms of how to handle issues, especially when dealing with civilians. Per their nature and training, they were not supposed to deal with civilians. So that also plays part. But at this modern age where increasingly the military is called upon to deal with civilians in civil issues, they should be taken through some kind of training for them to appreciate that their comment, their actions has repercussion on civilians, how they react toward them. Comment that he has made could even make people, put fear in people not to come out to vote. And these are things that we do not want to happen. And there are laws and regulations that are in place for people who, or miscreants, who will try to cause trouble during the voting process. And they should be handled in a particular way. It is not about beatings. I think he's gone beyond his bounds. And I think by now he has realized it, that some of this comment is unsavory.
I see. Albert, what do you think?
For me, my brother basically said it all. I'm sure he's talking from a good place, not necessarily from a trouble perspective.
Okay.
I'm sure his warning is to those who usually come to the polling station to foment trouble.
Okay.
Now, if that's your intention, don't come there at all. Or if you come there, once you've done voting, go home. The saying goes that the devil finds work for the ideal hands. So once you don't have anything doing, don't come and do the wrong thing over there. I think that's the perspective is coming from, but it got carried away. And as my brother said, more emotional intelligence is needed when communicating with the public. Other than that, you end up with a good intention will be misconstrued to mean an evil thing. So basically, probably he also need to reassure or come back and then reassure the public that that's not his intention, and that yes, you can come there and come and vote if you like. You can be there, observe, not necessarily within the queue again or within the immediate, parameters of the polling activity, but you can start at a safe distance and observe proceedings from there. I think that would be much more, better going forward than just letting it be this way. We need to hear from him again.
But you gentlemen in any way concerned about security on the day in question? Because fallout from the 2020 elections, you have many issues unaddressed.
Yes.
Deaths that have not been investigated.
Nothing.
The actions of security officers, they have not been sanctioned in any way. Are you concerned about the security issues going into the 2020 elections?
I'm concerned about the security issues, not necessarily from the civilians' perspective,
Okay.
but from the police and the military. If you cast your mind back to 2020,
Okay.
and even prior to that, no civilian went to any police station fomenting any trouble when they were shot. They only guarded to observe proceedings. Look at Techiman South, for instance. Look at what happened in was it Kasua or something, where Hawa Kumsan was shooting in the air and all that. Look at the ones that happened in your area. Is it Ablekman South?
Yeah.
Or Central?
No, Ablekman Central.
Yeah. Was the guy fomenting trouble when he was shot? No. So it was just like a state-sponsored hooligans in state security uniform coming there to, foment trouble and cause mayhem to achieve the parochial, interest of Akufo-Addo being re-elected against the will of the masses. So my concern, security-wise, going into election 2024 on December 7 and post December 7 is mainly to do with whether or not the state security will respect the rights and the will of the people of Ghana. That's my concern.
Okay.
The long and short of
That's Evokosi, do you have similar concerns?
My brother, as Albert has said, it is a concern for everybody, and everybody who is interested in the peace that we enjoy should be concerned about issues on security, because the fact remains that what happened in 2020 will not be countenanced in this 2024 election. Because if that is going to be the modus operandi of Akufo-Addo again, then he has to be assured that after January 6, there's no president in this country. And we need peace. And his tenure will come to an end. Anybody elected must be given the opportunity to come and rule this country. In his own statement that he has made in the past, if I will paraphrase, he said, the Electoral Commission is just an institution to count the vote of people. What counts is the vote of the people, not the person who is supposed to count it. To paraphrase what he has said. In all this, let everybody vote count. No intimidation and no using, especially giving the intel gathered by the NDC as to what that military man in charge of the central at Kumasi and environs, who supervised the Ayawaso West Wagon massacre and the naming of people.
Is it the Azugu one? Or
No.
The operations. He was in charge of operations.
The one who gave the command for people to
exactly. Yeah, the military man who has been promoted.
Yeah.
When the report
He's
says
now in charge of the central command.
he should be
a whole command now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey.
Giving those intel, every Ghanaian should be worried. But we want to assure the public that we are all going to be safe. And come December 7, our vote will count. And we will defend it. Yeah.
Good. Well, you will join us, like I said. Albert WOTORGBUI, he is mainly into research. He does a lot of research work. And then there's KORSI DZOKOTO, who is also nowadays. What are you?
Oh, I'm a banker.
Yes, I know that is your
profession,
background. You're a banker by profession.
And I'm an economist as well.
Okay.
And so I'm interested in what happens.
Which one do you do more? Because you are no longer in the banking house.
The fact is that, you see, in this modern world, you can't really just stay in one corner.
You have to be
You need to be
everywhere.
versatile. Yeah.
Oh, you see, it's competence.
and
If you understand how the economy works, and as a policy analyst, as a policy analyst, issues about what government is doing should be a concern for every analyst. You throw light on it, and you try to explain to people, okay, if governments take this action, this going to be the likely outcomes and the rest. So it informs public, it forms policy. Even people who are into the policy making itself, they also advise. For instance, when it came to this, when I was coming, I heard that though with the implementation of the law on the cement production, though the law came into being, prices are still going up. And we said it that as a matter of policy, laws do not control the market.
in a free market.
Exactly, in a free market economy, you can't use law to control it. So it was not going to work.
Okay.
So you have to analyze all those things and inform policy. Inform parliament, inform other people, because there are a lot of people making policies, especially in parliament and the rest. They are not necessarily policy persons. So of course. Anyway.
Okay. Anyways, since the two of you are here, in American elections, it looks like at the end of the day, the votes were determined by matters of the major issue was the inflation. The price of goods and services was the one thing that U.S. citizens were complaining about. There were questions raised about Trump's persona, but that did not matter anyway.
No,
because they just needed to get the government out of power. Do you think that will play out here?
Senna, you see, in every human society, or human beings are supposed to be rational and make rational or take rational decisions.
Okay.
Now, when you go back to the basics, Maslow's theory of need, the most biggest one are what? Food, shelter, and then the rest follows.
Okay.
Right? And where do those things fall in? Bread and butter, the economy. So the state of the economy will determine how you get food on your table and how much food or quantum of food you have on your table to feed on and to feed your family with. You understand? So in every rational human decision, you first of all think about your sustenance, how you survive first, before you look at one. The self-actualization is like enjoyment. If you are hungry, will you think about enjoying yourself or going to drink or chill somewhere? No. You first have to, the little you have, you want to use it to afford the basic needs that, especially food, shelter, the basics of the basic. But so once the decision is confronted with you, that which way should I go? Let me look at my standard of living. What is my living condition? Is the government or is the economy supporting me to live a normal life, such that I won't be thinking, stressing, and then at the end of the day develop BP and all that? The other day we were having a conversation and somebody was saying that, and not somebody, the health experts are saying that Ghana now, one of the major cases that reports at the health facilities is ulcer, stomach ulcer.
Stomach ulcer?
Yes. Because I don't know if you've also had that information.
Which means a lot of people are going hungry.
Because a lot of people are going hungry. Hungry in the sense that instead of you having, we say 3 square meals a day, and in between probably some snacks here and there, you struggle to even have 1 square meal. Not that 1 meal is not even square. To talk about the snacks and whatever in between. So question is, the person who pushed you deeper into this abyss, when you are confronted with the situation, to choose him or somebody else who didn't push you that far, what will you do? So when it comes to the Americans, they, at least you can say they are a bit crazy at times, pardon my language. But when it comes to some of the rational decisions, trust them to take it. You know, human life is not about morality.
Okay.
Morality comes way after you've eaten, you are satisfied, and you are relaxing somewhere. Then you can sit in your armchair and start debating issues on morality. But if you are hungry, or when you are hungry, will you have time to be talking about whether somebody is fornicating, somebody is insulting somebody is drinking, smoking, or something? You will not. So, like I said, the bread and butter issue is what, even, it's not only America. When you look at almost all the elections that have been held,
incumbents are losing. Yeah,
all the incumbents are losing because people are acting on the rationality of bread and butter issues. It's straight up, and I don't expect this to be different from in the case of Ghanaians. No, it's basic. They've demonstrated enough over the years that when it comes to the choices, bread and butter matters most. It's as simple as that.
Because anyway, I really didn't want to refer to this post, but I realized that the new poll that is being carried by, especially the MPP newspapers, because he puts Dr. Baumia in the lead. Professor,
what is the name?
Professor Smasapong.
The name, ironically,
when you look at the hierarchy of things that will inform good roads, I mean, I see toilets and
those are the utmost to the needs of Ghanaians. Is that what you were saying?
Good roads is number one. Job.
When I saw a flyer of his making a summary of some of the issues or some of the data. What catches my eye was the base data. You know, when I talk about the base data, that is the basis upon which he built everything, and that is the total registered voters. When I don't know if you have that flyer or something, or you've seen it. When you see the figure that he quoted, clearly he doesn't know what is happening in this country. He doesn't even know what's the total number of registered voters we have currently, as per the data from EC. The ballot statistics that EC released to the political parties. Clearly, he has no idea what even the data is. So once you build, your research on a false premise or false data, the outcome and the conclusion that you draw from it becomes null and void.
I see. But do you agree on the matter of bread and butter? That's the basic. That inflation will be a big player.
My brother, let me ask you, what are your concerns right now as you sit here?
As a human being.
As a human being. What are your concerns? How do I survive? Except people who have access to government stolen money, who are chilling all around. Apart from that, the basic Ghanaian, what is their worry? Is how do I survive? Shelter, food, my income. And where are we? Let me give you, if in 2016, and you are maybe a lawyer who is earning, let's say, 2,000 cedis as a lawyer, in 2016, equivalent of that money is about $500. Okay. Today, if you want to have the same standard of living, your employer should be paying you about 8,500 cedis.
For you to be the same 500?
For you to be in near, because I haven't accounted for inflation or price of goods and services.
Okay.
But at least, just based on your income, to keep your level, you should be earning 8,500 cedis. But most people are earning, from the 2,000 in 2016, are earning close to 3,000 or 3,500.
The average is about 2,000. The average,
you understand?
Is around 2,200.
And apart from your purchasing power that you have lost, the next thing that has happened to you is increase in prices of goods and services. Because we have this in two parts. First is the depreciation of the cedi.
Okay.
It has a direct effect on your standard of living. Because if you want to compare your standard of living, if you were living in Ghana and somebody living in Ivory Coast, and at that time you were all earning this 2,000, you are earning it in cedis, the person is earning it in CFA in Ivory Coast. For you, at that time, you are all having the same standard of living, all things being equal. The fact is that as we speak, between 2016 and today, the CFA has lost less than what? 10% of its value. Has lost less than 10% of its value.
Okay.
What it means is that the person can still be having the same standard of living. But what has happened to the Ghanaian worker? You have lost substantially your standard of living.
Okay.
And that is the bread and butter issue. So, and you see, governance is not about grandeur. It's not about just projects. Governance should be about the welfare of people.
Okay.
So, if they tell us, okay, I've brought you free SHS, is the free SHS going to pay for my rent? Is free SHS going to pay for my food? Is free SHS able to pay for the fee of my kids in primary schools or the universities, apart from the model? Is the free SHS going to buy me clothes? But if you fail to manage the economy well, for instance, from 2022, the cedi depreciated for about 54.2% as at February of 2023. All right? That is a substantial loss in your purchasing power. Who caused it? Bank of Ghana will be coming there later in the future today. That is 2023. By the end of 2023, that is 2022. By the end of 2023, averagely the cedi has depreciated between 37 and 40.
Yeah, I think it's 42.
Okay, all right. Then we are in 2020 what? 4. Yeah. And the cedi has depreciated about 24%. Okay, so look at the price build-up. What it means is that as you see the inflation rate dropping, it doesn't mean prices are dropping, no. But it's the rate at which they are going up is what is dropping. So if the thing was 2 cedi in 2021 and suddenly it increased to 4 cedi, the 4 cedi is maintained. In 2023, it has increased by 42%. So it means that it has increased to 5 cedis, maybe something pesos. Then in 2024, it has increased to what? 6 cedis. So it's price build up, though the rate is dropping. What it also means is that the cost of living or the standard of living keep going worse. So if this doesn't matter to every Ghanaian, then what matters to you? Is it your political allegiance? Is it being born in Ashanti and you people are MPP, but you are suffering? Is that what you are thinking about? You are not thinking about your survival. And how long are we going to continue with this? Inflation that was about 15.4% in 2016. And look at what has happened in 8 years. We have regressed the standard of, in fact, the Ghana's GDP per capita, all right, is projected to decrease since 2022 up to 2025. So whilst our West African neighbors, Their GDP per capita is growing. Ours is going down. And what it means is our standard of living is falling. We used to be respected among the region and we were the best among the region. We are becoming the worst. And soon, Ghanaian will be leaving this country if this continue.
No,
with this country, we'll be leaving this country. No, it's not even the exodus that we are talking about now.
Okay.
To that one, you are going to maybe Europe, the UK, the Canadian, and the rest. We are talking about we living here to Togo, to Benin, to Nigeria.
Yeah, cost of living is lower.
Because relatively, it is better to live there as we speak, given our condition. So bread and butter issue when it comes to this election, if Baumia think is going to tell us about digitization, that I can renew my NHIS just by a code.
Yeah.
And so what? When I can't survive, when I can barely meet, exactly, I can barely meet my daily expenses. What is it about digitization? So let me not.
No. You
let me flow from where my brother stopped. See, the issue about standard of living, inflation, and then price build-up is that, you see, there's a reason governments the world all over try as much as possible to keep inflation at a very low level.
Okay.
In the sense that when you allow inflation to gallop, like the way they did between 2022 and 2023, or is it 2021 to 2023, is that when it's happened, when inflation gallop for a certain number of time or a certain length of a period, the price level become very rigid. So it's no longer a pass-through thing or a temporary thing. So it become a rigid price. So for instance, when this water was being sold, let's say 2021 at 1 cedi.
Okay.
Then the inflation took the price to almost about 3 cedis in 2020, let's say 2023. What happens is that when they say that inflation is dropping or the inflation rate is dropping, it doesn't mean that the price of water will go down. Is going to go down. No. The only thing or the only meaning to it is that the price of this water will start increasing from the 3 cedis, but not like the way it
will be slower
before. So it will be slower.
So instead of adding 2 cedis, it is doing maybe 1 cedi 50 pesos.
Let's say the way in 2021, 2022, or 2023, when you go to the market, every other week the price
go up.
shows up. It's not going to happen like that anymore. So, for instance, if it's now 3 cedis in a week or in a month, before it will go to, let's say, about 3 cedis 50 pesos.
Okay.
So that's the basic, layman's interpretation of if they say inflation is coming down. It doesn't mean that the price of the thing is coming down. It's only the speed at which the price increases that is coming down. Are you getting it?
Okay.
So if somebody who took inflation or the rate of increase of prices to that level, and you see, the danger about that happening is that when you were being paid, let's say 2,000 cedis, or let's say 1,000 cedis a month in 2023, before that happened, it means that, let's say with that 1,000, you could afford, let's say this water was being sold, let's say at 1 cedi then.
Okay.
You could afford 1,000 pieces of this water.
Okay.
But assuming that your salary is not, increased commensurate with the rate at which the price shot up or inflation shot up, and then this becomes 3 cedis, it means that out of the 1,000 cedis, you can only afford about, let's say, about 30 pieces thereof, or 33 pieces thereof, of this, 330 pieces of this water instead of the 1,000 pieces you could have afforded last year.
Okay.
So who is the loser in the end? You, the individual,
who is buying?
Consumer, or who is buying? Are you getting it? So when that happens, And government never increase salary, or no employer increases salary to commensurate with how cost of living is deteriorating. That's why when we are going to vote, you look at who is keeping my cost of living at a level that at the end of the day, whatever I'm earning, even if it's not increased, I can afford more of what I was affording a year before. And know that when I'm supposed to progress the next year, and then I cannot even afford the things that I afford last year. It's basic. Would you go for such a person? No.
I see. Albert, okay. One message from one of our partners. Then I'll come to. I'll read the portion of a story published by the New Republic on Tuesday. I've been keeping this paper for a few days now. Because it's quite an interesting story. The story is, and of course, before we get there, Black Friday is here, and Furniture City is ahead of the game. From now until the end of the season, enjoy jaw-dropping discounts of 20% to 50% off on our luxurious bespoke furniture. Whether it's for your office, home, garden, poolside, kitchen, living room, or even a church auditorium, we've got the perfect piece to elevate your space. Visit us at Spinters branch, or call 0540 314 948. Or you can also visit us at our Tema outlet, or call the Tema outlet on 025 7961 451. Hurry while stocks last. Furniture City, simply unforgettable. And of course, for your long-lasting and durable pipes, look no further than DuraPlus. DuraPlus pipes for over 50 years has been producing top-notch quality pipes for domestic and commercial use, being UPVC and HDPE pipes. The only reliable and trusted brand is DuraPlus. And of course, through innovation and customer satisfaction, DuraPlus brings you the ultimate water storage tank, Water Tank. The only water storage tank with a level indicator, which helps you to know the exact water level available for your usage. Water tank comes in various sizes from 1,000 liters to 10,000 liters. We also produce to meet customer specification. Tell us what you want your tank to look like, and DuraPlus will produce for you. And also look out for our weekly safety tips to guide you at home and offices. And for leakages, DuraPlus says you should regularly inspect pipes for leaks to avoid water damage, mold growth, and high water bills. Locate DuraPlus at plot number 10, 11, and 12 Dadiban Road, North Industrial Area, Accra North, or locate the distributor close to you for authentic DuraPlus products. Water tank, water tank. Remember, where DuraPlus goes, water flows. Like I said, let me go through this story. This is a story published by the New Republic, and the headline is From Riches to Red. Broke BOG moves into 4 billion luxury office after making 6.8 billion losses in 2023 alone. And the New Republic says, okay, from riches to red, broke Bank of Ghana moves into 4 billion luxury office today amid staggering losses of 6.8 billion in 2023 alone. The Bank of Ghana is poised to unveil its new 4 billion headquarters. That's on Wednesday, 19th November 2024. A move that is expected to spark controversy and public outrage over the management of top executives. While taxpayers' money has been lavishly spent on the new state-of-the-art headquarters, concerns have been raised about the irony of the bank carrying its 6.8 billion losses into its new lavish office. The project's cost has escalated from an initial budget of $81.8 million to over $250 million, with questions lingering over procurement practices and fiscal oversight. At the time when Ghana is grappling with rising inflation, unemployment, and public debt, the extravagant investment in corporate head office appears out of touch with the pressing priorities facing the nation. The financial challenges faced by the BOG have raised alarm, with consecutive annual losses totaling billions of Ghana cedis, putting the central bank on the brink of insolvency. In an effort to stabilize its financial base, the BOG has sought external support and signed a memorandum of understanding with the International Monetary Fund for necessary recapitalization. And the interesting thing, and the part where I like about the story is when it says, while taxpayers' money has been lavishly spent on the new state-of-the-art headquarters, concerns have been raised about the irony of the bank carrying its 6.8 billion Ghana cedis losses into the new lavish office.
6.8, 68. You are not.
No, it's 6.8. So that I think they are doing 2023 alone.
Okay.
So the losses in
2023. Okay, so we'll correct.
Yes. The 2023, the losses are.
We'll review. 2023 is 10.5 billion.
Really?
Yeah. And 2022 is 60.8 billion.
Yes.
Okay, so explain that.
Okay.
If you move from 60.8 billion to a loss of, is it 10.1?
5 billion.
So 60.8 to 10.5. Is that to suggest that you've been able to deal with the 60.8 billion losses?
No, but you've written
No,
it up, so
no, it's an accumulation.
You say you can't
it's
recover
accumulation of losses.
yes.
Okay, so the issue
you go on. Let
about
me find the figure.
Bank of Ghana should be a worry for everybody.
Okay.
Building a new head office is good because there are a lot of changes, staff increase over the time of over 60 years of using the same head office, etc. But in this type of issue, Bank of Ghana is a regulatory institution.
Okay.
And it should be seen as an institution that is setting the good standards for other financial institutions to follow. We should be worried about the current governance and also the board of Bank of Ghana. Exactly what is their priority when it comes to their role in our life, in the economy, and governance. I am very worried, especially given that at this point in time, when this country is going through serious financial challenges, and the ordinary people, like teachers, like drivers, like farmers, are the one paying the price of the misgovernance and the mismanagement of this economy.
Okay.
We were talking about inflation before this section. Who caused it? Between 2021, 2022, 2023, Bank of Ghana increased money supply into the economy.
Okay.
That shot the inflation to the 54.2 that we are talking about, which they have no business doing that. Okay. This governor and his board, since assuming office in 2017, have made more losses than any other governor in the history of the bank for 67 years.
1946 or 1946.
Exactly.
Yeah, 1946.
And
If we
consistently,
put together the losses we've made since the Bank of Ghana started, let's say after independence,
they haven't even made loss in recent history. They haven't even made losses in recent history. But under this governor and its board, with the 7 years they have been in office, we don't have the financials for this year because it's not ended.
Yeah.
With the 7 years they have been in office, they have made losses 4 times in the year. They made 1.56 billion. That is 1,650,000.
No, 650 million.
650 million in 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Okay. A year after
Meanwhile,
2016 profits went
2016 profits, 2014, 2012, 2013. You can go back.
Okay.
That is a sharp departure from what Bank of Ghana has been since they took over.
Okay.
In 2018, they made another loss, as if the first one was not enough. They made 793 million Ghana cedis loss. Everybody was thinking that, okay, we cannot continue like this. So In 2019 and 2020, they made some small profits, almost trying to break even.
Okay.
Then the elephant in the room appeared in 2020 when they make 60.8 billion of loss. And everybody said, what is happening here? So just within 5-6 years of this governance alone, they have made almost about 62 billion loss in 5 years.
No, 70.
No. I've not come to 2023.
Oh, okay.
Then they told us, it was because of the debt exchange. That is why the loss in 2022 went up that high. But what is your business about government expenditure? Government was overspending. Instead of you telling them, because you are supposed to advise government.
That's your job.
It's your job. You fail to do your job, and when we were locked up, government could not borrow from outside. You went ahead printing money and giving to government. After printing the money, pushing it into the system, then you say you are writing it off as a loss.
Without even parliamentary approval.
Without parliamentary approval.
Candidates of jail.
Then your loss, that was just about 55 or 54 billion.
Yeah.
Okay. In the absence of even that, they would have made loss anyway.
They have still made the losses.
Exactly. So in 2022 was the history maker. They made a loss of 60.8 billion. Something that never happened in any West African country.
If you run it up by 60.9.
All right? Then,
You have the figure.
when after the COVID is gone, there's no issue. In 2023 last year, they make 10.5 billion loss. My brother. Now, where the Bank of Ghana is, what it means is that all the reserve, all the money profit they have made in the past and kept on their balance sheet to keep the institution strong have all been wiped out. And as we speak, what is called capital or equity that every institution uses to run, Bank of Ghana does not have it.
They don't have
it. So technically, they are bankrupt. The issue is it at this time that if you have money, $250 million, equivalent of almost 4 billion cedis, is it at this time that you should go and use it and go and build a new head office?
They said they set aside the $250 million before they made the losses, and then they wanted to continue.
I'll send you a question about
the financials are there.
These things are there.
The financials
if
are
somebody
there.
says that, then the person is a bloody liar.
So, how do you go and build a new head office? In fact, to be specific, Bank of Ghana had about 4 offices in Accra alone. The City House belongs to Bank of Ghana. In fact, it's half empty.
City House is the property of Bank of Ghana.
Yes, of course, some of the staffs are there.
I don't know. It's Bank of Ghana's
It's Bank of Ghana's property. Then you have the main one. Even down there, City House is not completely occupied. Some other institutions are occupying some other floors are even empty. So, in all this mess that they have created, they went ahead to build a new head office. Okay, Sana, do you know what is surprising about this? The surprise in all this is that at this point, Bank of Ghana has gone to sign an agreement with an IMF. As part of the restructuring we are going through, the DPP and the rest, that they need to be recapitalized. And do you know who is supposed to recapitalize? Government of Ghana. Who is also broke.
Two broke people doing that thing.
The government of Ghana.
The government of Ghana, who is debt burden, cannot pay its debt, cannot pay for NHIS, cannot pay hospitals.
Because the same government that
cannot build schools, cannot build schools. They say they are doing agenda 111. Not even one single one is completed. They are owing about 35 billion to contractors in the World Bank document. They haven't paid. They are owing IPPs, who says after this Friday, if they do not receive any money from government, on Monday they are all shutting down because they are owing $2 billion to the IPPs. That is independent power producers. That is why every now and then our lights are going off. And they say if they don't give them money by Monday, they are shutting down. So the doomsday you are suffering in our community is going to go worse. This is the government. The Bank of Ghana is hoping on to recapitalize them. And when I saw the president and the vice who has collapsed this economy, Dr. Bawumia, sitting, that they are commissioning, or they say inaugurating,
greening from year to year,
a new head office, I weep for Mother Ghana.
In fact, what you said is quite interesting, because if you listen to the Bank of Ghana, they suggest that their losses are because they were bailing out the government.
Who asked them to bail out the government? When John Mahama government was in trouble, there was
and that's why I'm surprised, because you are now saying that the same government which they were trying to bail out is the government that's supposed to bail them out.
Exactly. That is a paradox of the whole issue.
So you are bailing someone, you become so
exactly.
that the person,
so the person how has to bail you. How is the person going to do it? And this person is already owing all around and cannot pay. And this is how they have run this country, like a pawn scheme.
So now you have the figures there.
Like a pawn scheme.
Go to IFRID, really.
So the grandeur, the flashy head office, and all sorts. Nobody is saying that it is no good to build a new head office. But at this time in the life of our nation, is that what is important? Is that what we need? That comes to tell you the type of leaders we have and the intentions behind building that head office.
What do you think the intention
that is? The next government must be interested
in what?
In what is the motive? What do you want to achieve in building that head office? And if you look at the processes they went through when it comes to procurement, the contract, how it was given out, that is where you should ask yourself questions. Whether is it the intention to build a head office or there are ulterior motives. And the next government should be interested. I want to end over here.
Albert.
Sarah, I've sent you the reports 2021, 2-3. Just look at it. 2021, if they claim that they've set aside the money before construct or before even making the laws, it should reflect in their, at least even the 2021, financials.
Okay.
Their own audited reports. But when you look at it, there was nothing there. They paid the 250 million. In the year they made the 60.9 billion loss, 2022. That's when they paid. It's there. You can read it for your listeners.
$250 million was paid in a year.
In the year that they made the loss, the 60.9 billion loss that they made in 2022. That was they paid in 2022. Look at it. It's there. It's their own audited account. So where from the narrative all of a sudden that they paid or they set the money aside before then? How is that supposed to even make sense to anybody? See, Senna, I always talk about rationality, commonsensical decisions. There's no business on earth or a business owner on earth that will make the biggest loss of in its history, and that very year will decide that the little money he or she has for the business, he or she will now go and build a new corporate office for that business. Is that how to run a business or run anything at all? Even in your own family. I always say that, you see, running the country is like running a family, but on a larger scale. Your house, like, but on a larger scale. The year that you made the loss of all losses, you don't have much, which means that you have to look for the money elsewhere. Or, in this situation, because you have the right, or you can manufacture a wheel and print or whatever. So, that is the year that you decide to go and then build a house, a new house. It's not that you don't have anywhere to live. You have somewhere to live. In fact, you have many houses where you can comfortably live and run your family. The year that you don't have anything, you in negative way, in your entire life, you've never made that loss before. That is the year that you decided to go and then build a new house and live in. Is that reasonable human behavior? Now, you see, and it is not surprising, and he gave credit to Akufo-Addo, isn't it? That he gave him the go-ahead to do it. When he broached the topic with him in 2018, he gave him the blessing to do it.
That was 2018?
Yes. He said that was when the conversations began, around this began. And I said, you shouldn't be surprised, because this is a president who, in all of the wisdom of this world, the country is in crisis, and he decided to use what? Almost 1 point how many billion cedis to dig a hole. The most expensive stagnant water hole in the world. We are in crisis, and that's when he decided to. And when reasonable voices are saying, we don't behave like that, we don't act like that. What did he say? Everybody can go to hell. We are naysayers, we are what? Jeremiah's and Sambalasis and Tobiases and whatever. So do you think that his assignee or appendage will listen to anybody when he was embarking on that thing in the year that they make the biggest loss of all losses in the history of Ghana? So it's Akufo-Addo and Bawumia.
So you're saying it's consistent with the character of
with the character of this particular administration, particularly Bawumia and Akufo-Addo.
But can the Bank of Ghana governor, not looking at his own books,
now you see,
know what to do when and
this is where my problem comes in, that with all this misbehavior, blatant disregard for the law. For instance, when you made a loss, you made a loss in 2022, for instance, and your law clearly says that before you can write off any debt or which is any loss on your books, you must go to Parliament for approval before you can write it off. But the governor, in his own volition, decided that, to hell with Parliament of Ghana. So, because government say, yes, I'm owing you 60 billion or my 40 billion, but I can't pay, so I'm writing it off. Now, tomorrow, this is a clear-cut case of disregard for the law. And tomorrow, if somebody is prosecuting this person, you hear the narrative that will be woven around as if somebody is doing something untoward. But the laws are there to prevent things of this nature from happening, from wasting public resources, like the way Akufo-Addo is doing, and Akufo-Addo and Bawumia are doing. The guy has succeeded in giving some kind of authority to his appendages to be. If not, Bawumia has the audacity to be going around campaigning again on the resources of this state. Head of economic management team. When he was touting their names and whatever, that they were, even when they claim, quote unquote, the economy was doing well, was he not credited for all that was happening? All of a sudden, when he ran the economy into a ditch, which has never happened before in the Fourth Republic, the first time in the history of Fourth Republic that, the only time we heard that is some of us, we heard that Yentia. And this is the very moment Baumia has successfully taken Ghanaians to. That the world all over, people knew that we've borrowed and we refuse to pay or we can't pay. For the first time in the history of the Fourth Republic. Yet he's going around again on the resources of these states, on the taxpayers' money. When poor pensioners are queuing every day, picketing every day at Ministry of Finance, and nobody is minding them as if they are not Ghanaian people who have sacrificed their lives many years in service of this country. Able to save. These are not people who looted government monies like the way we've seen. Yet, hardworking people who saved something for their pension to at least take care of themselves, pay for the medicines or the medications that will be needed in old age. You wickedly took their money by force. Even the small they give it to them, you refuse. Up to now, every day they are there picketing. Oh, ladies, why? How wicked can any human being get?
Albert, give me a moment. I have to take a last spot of advertisement. We'll come back, we'll conclude on this.
Attention! 7th December, on the ballot paper, just look for the umbrella! The umbrella! Mahama and the umbrella!
24-hour economy! December 7th. I can't wait, I can't wait.
As for me, I will turn printer till I get to number 8. Hey, landlord, never make that mistake. Oh, someone. When they give you the ballot paper, what you? I want a pride hano. And I'm over. Nana drum. Any penny for being tea. What buying that the bread? Now so, and I'm say. Obi anwa woni wonti ebesi na eye dormitory enkwala ne bedam woni bi na enkwala no so bo modin am teacher for no kira de yenti wo mo konso hwe a wo mutwa na ebesi na school bus kura enkwala de to kwan kura wo mo che wo mama wo mo o man penny His Excellency Dramani Mahama, Opening John, Wada Roma, Eye Apradi Health Center. What buying the bread in here? Now, where Eye Nananum, any drum, any said ye Omansi Mutia, Ya Dawson, Etika Ebeye, Cassia Edimaye, Zapon the clinic cry. I can't be to America. I feel a bio area say Sanya can Kabi Binia Katechla Kadikan and Comb. A choir I offer so by what buying, what brasso. O sakrata se enka kwan no kasabre yi ayetum nanso efiri eye achiase eye potem ha nyina ekọ kumase ekwantia wani udru ba ofi edupe no amani nifa na wokọ Cape Coast a ekwantia wani udru ba ofi edupe no amani benkum na wokọ afei udru aprade ahemfie ni nchen ho a ufa hwa wona machim duoko ugosi amanfo ponwa ukwa bremasi kuma mankasi munso nie wo ye ho nyuma ama wa ban ka ase anyo na so ukwaje wa home kakra ne nti ekwan no sebi awe besenti se obi ofra nwura na watua to abanko amu mese ukwaje wa home kakra nti ekwan no sesei akoye se sebi Obia worry be seen no franura, no theatre banquemu. Menem say, a hroni deda, men penny for them rantia in an animal yes way. And ye hro kake na ye hro. Lemom ye hro near to a bapa. Na abandon suswa, ye quatuano. Ya bashani say, Tafia kwa ya to skirt and brows would da. Eti eye openima ne bosomi ato sonson eye 7th January 7th December say Yesu Kristo fa doma no wo so se dia mi wusu bie ya na osoro kasa onyankopon bema waso akofra mu asai Aprade mai onyamia sha aprade mai nyamia enam se onyamia sha yenti na wode wona si asase so no wo so aye nhira yan secondary school ewo aprade ha no enam wo fa na nadom eni mpanifo bi nti wa ban na de bra yen Nanso enam se obi anwo a woni wonti ebesi ne eye dormitory enkwala ne bedam woni bi na enkwala no so bo modin ama teacher fo no kirade yenti wo mo konso hwe a wo mutwa na ebesi ne school bus kura enkwala di tu kwan kura wo mo che wo mama wo mo o man penny His Excellency Dramani Mahama Openi John Wada Roma Eye Aprade Health Center what buying the debre ne Now where eye nananom any dom any said ye omansi mutia ya doso etika ebeye Kasia Edimayen, Zapon the clinic cry, a Kabefa who to Medica. I fay a bio Eviase Sanyakan Kabibi Binia Katechla Kadikan and Comb.
And of course, let me remind you. That's one of the best electronic companies in Ghana. Stands by its products and offers up to 5 years manufacturer defect warranty with Hisense showrooms across Ghana. Visit any of our showrooms around Accra and also in Tema, Kumasi, Takrady, Tabwa, Mankasim, Obuasi, Sinyani, Techiman, Tamale, Hokwe, Koforidua to purchase any Hisense products at the best price on the market. Call Hisense on 0302 55 0000 or visit our website hisense.com.gh.
Right now, why can't we live together? Be my friend and be yours forever. All we need a piece of the action. Right now, right now, right now, right now.
Well, I still have in studio with me KORSI DZOKOTO. KORSI DZOKOTO is a banker, economist, policy analyst, financial analyst. He has lots of things. It's always interesting reading your write-ups. Yes, quite educative. And of course, Albert WOTORGBUI is wonderful talking to Albert. Albert is a researcher. Does a lot of research on many issues. Okay, so we have to wrap this up. KORSI, your last comments, because we have to close this. Your concluding comments.
Okay. Sana, I want to ask this question. As we have said, You see, nobody is against BOG building a new office after being where they are for all these years. But it is unusual for you to take this decision in the midst of all the financial difficulties the country is going through. The question now is government of Ghana in place to recapitalize Bank of Ghana?
Where's the money?
It's no. Obvious answer. What is surprising in all this, and I keep thinking about it, in 2019, Bank of Ghana, given all the excuses that they have given us that, the place was not built to stand tremors and the rest. The fact is that tremors has happened in Accra for over 60 years. Their building has never collapsed. In fact, when it talks about even the buildings within that enclave, including Barclays Bank, Standard Chartered, GBC head office, that is Ghana Commercial Bank, and the rest, BOG's building is not the tallest. And it is the strongest. Apart from that, my brother, in 2019, they spent $50 million to renovate that building and make it fit for purpose.
So a quarter of the cost of that bank,
exactly,
the new office was spent
in just 2019 to strengthen the bank and added new facilities to the same space. So where is the planning? Where is the financial planning? So you invested $50 million in the same building, trying to give it a facelift, expanded the banking hall, strengthened the structures, and in the next a year or two, you are already thinking about moving to a new head office.
Are you sure the money was actually being spent? That amount of money was actually being spent, or it was used for campaign?
So it calls for questions and issues about even the location of where the head office is.
Okay.
Must be, raised.
Okay.
These are high density area when it comes to corporate life within reach. High density. And look at the star strength of Bank of Ghana and the number of cars that will be trooping there.
2,500 or 2,700?
Exactly.
No, 2,500.
Trooping there in and out. How is going to affect traffic in the whole enclave?
Okay.
An issue about carbon emission. That in the modern era, everybody is going for sustainability.
Okay.
So even if you want to take such a decision, why don't you put that in perspective?
Okay. Well, we have to bring this to a close. Ochame Bajimba will take over with the mid-morning show. Albert, thank you, because I've seen you all week. Yeah. And it's nice to see you.
We'll continue,
yes. Ochame Bajimba will take over with the mid-morning show. I am Senna Nombo. Facebook Live produced by Albert Bracco. I said Albert Bracco. Why the
oh, it's a nice name, so why not?
But the combination is not bad.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's a fantastic name. His name is Mr. Bracco. The other name is not your concern. Alaska V. And then, of course, show is produced by Eric Guati, my co-host, Nancy Amelowiske Kelobimpe, and of course, SM. We are back Monday with another edition of the show. But 30 minutes past 11, do make a date with Muftar Adamo with Gold Talk Sport. They will talk about that retreat that every Ghanaian is in.
Retreat.
We can joke in this country that every Ghanaian is invited to, being called by the GFA. Oh, Charlie, we are done. We are done.
We'll
see you on Monday.